fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver. Let's go, big fella. Hi-yo, Silver! Hi!
The Lone Ranger and Tonto camped for the night in the north range of the Madre Mountains, between the towns of Orville and Central City. The next morning, Tonto left camp and rode to Orville for provisions.
Oh, Scout. Oh, fella. Easy, Scout. Easy, fella.
Well, Tonto, how are you?
Oh, Kearney.
In the general store, Tonto unexpectedly met Leo Kearney, a veteran prospector whom he and the Lone Ranger had known for many years. The miner, resplendent in gaudy new clothes, a haircut, and beard trim, greeted the Indian. While they talked, neither paid attention to the two rough-looking men who inched close to them. Tonto was saying,
Me never see you dress up like this before. You maybe find rich mine at last?
Tonto, between you and me, I've found myself the richest diggings ever turned up in this territory. Filed my claim and everything.
Oh, me plenty glad hear that. We have camp in North Range near your mine.
Oh, you mean that diggings over on the Central City side of the range where I was working last time I saw you?
Ah.
That vein was worthless. I gave up on that place 2 years ago. Just walked out of the shack and never went back.
Oh, me not know that.
Sure. But the reason I'm dressed like this is because I'm riding over to Central City this morning. Going to meet the stagecoach from the east. My youngsters are on it, coming here to see me.
Oh, you got children? Me not know that.
I have 2 of them. Only they're not children anymore. Jenny's 16 and Damien, he's the boy, is 19.
Oh, that plenty big surprise.
Yeah, I guess it would be to most people out here. They don't remember when my wife Maggie was alive. She died when the youngsters were babies. Then her sister came out here and took them back east so they could be raised proper, in schools and all that.
And now them come see you.
Yep, after all this time. And, Tonto, I'm happy because I'll be able to tell them they're gonna be rich. Oh, in this letter I got from them last week, young Damien tells me he wants to go to college and be a mining engineer.
That plenty fine thing.
Yeah, it sure is. Why, he can take charge of my mine when he gets out of school.
Leo Kearney.
Huh?
Have your horse waiting out front here.
Yeah, be right with you, Sattler. Tonto?
Me not say goodbye here. Me walk out to horse with you.
Good. Come along, Tonto.
As Tonto and Leo Kearney disappeared into the street, the two men who had been eavesdropping exchanged glances. Mig Webster said to Jake Collins,
Jake, did you hear all that?
I sure did. I'm glad we followed him in here. Now we know he did find a good claim. But he filed it already. He said so.
Doesn't mean we can't get the mine away from him, or part of it anyway. Come out through the side door into the alley. I'll tell you there what I'm talking about.
Outside in the alley, Mig outlined a plan which Jake Collins approved at once.
That's a great idea, Mig. We just hold him up and say, give us your mine or we'll kill you, right?
Right. I think we can get away with this thing, Jake. We haven't a dime left from that express company job we pulled. We got to do something. This is it.
Hey, that was Kearney just rode past the alley. We better take out after him.
Oh, all we got to do is take a shortcut, and we'll be waiting for him at Sudden Bend, halfway to Central City. Right near our hideout cabin, in case we have to hide.
Leo Kearney was halfway to Central City when the two masked men, brandishing guns, rode from the underbrush at a spot called Sudden Bend.
All right, you, pull up.
Well, ho there. Ho.
Get down off your horse. We want to talk to you.
What?
Jake grabbed at Leo Kearney, but his hand missed the old man and fell sharply across the eyes of Kearney's horse. The animal, already frightened, whinnied in terror, whirled, and then plunged madly toward the side of the road.
Hey!
The prospector reached for the reins. At the moment, the horse stumbled.
Oh!
Kearney sailed over the neck of the animal and fell to the ground, hitting his head as he landed. As the old man's horse raced away, the crooks rode to where Kearney lay unconscious.
Well, pick Kearney up, will you? Sling him across your horse and lead him off the road into the bushes.
Yeah,
Jake lifted the injured man onto the horse, then mounted the animal, sitting behind Kearney.
let's get him out of here.
All right.
Get him.
Get up there. Come on. Hey, wait. Ho. Rein up, Jake.
Who? What's the matter?
Jake, that old coot's out cold. Maybe out for hours. That spoils our entire plan.
Yeah, we'll not be able to talk him into doing what we say.
Yeah, we got to do something. I have a new idea. Let's take him up to our hideout. Leave him there and talk to him later.
Later?
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll go meet those youngsters of his and give them a story about their father. That'll give us time to get him around to talking business.
All right, I'll put some kind of bandage on his head.
Good. Want the old goat to be sensible when we get around to talking business.
The crooks removed Kearney's collar, discarded it, and then ripped his gaudy green-striped shirt and bandaged his head. Then again placing him across Jake's horse.
Get up, come on.
Get up there. Come on.
They took him to their cabin in the mountains, a spot hidden by brush and trees, yet merely a mile from the trail. At the cabin, they bound the prospector. Then Mig removed a letter from Kearney's pocket and read it.
Hey, this is good. It's from his boy. Has a lot of personal stuff about him and his sister. I'll spring it on him when I meet him in Central City.
Mig Webster arrived in Central City within an hour.
Whoa there!
When the stagecoach from the east arrived, he was waiting with the two horses he'd hired from a public livery stable. Mig had no trouble picking out Jenny and Damian Kearney in the crowd. Their youthfulness and Eastern-style clothes identified them easily. Affecting an air of geniality, Mig walked over to the couple.
Well, hello there.
How do you do?
Hello.
You're Jenny and you're Damien, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Well, I'm Mig Webster, a friend of your father's. He asked me to meet you.
Oh. Is something wrong? He said he'd
He'd be here to greet you, I know, but doggone, he just couldn't make it. He's having trouble at a place he just staked out.
Oh, what kind of trouble, sir?
Oh, nothing serious, but it'll keep him tied up for a day or two. Now, just don't you worry. You come along with me.
Leo Kearney's abandoned cabin and mine property were located in the hills near Central City and the hideout where he was being held by Jake Collins.
Oh there, oh. Come on.
It was to the cabin on this property that Mig Webster led Jenny and Damian Kearney.
Why, this place...
Amazement filled the couple as they crossed the threshold of the battered shack and entered the dust-filled room that held only a broken table and a rickety chair. Mig, sensing their reaction, forced a weak smile.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, huh?
Looks as if no one had been here for years.
Well, that's sort of true. We're not good housekeepers, us miners. Besides, we sleep outdoors most of the time.
Oh, but Daddy said in his letters that he had a nicely furnished cabin for us to come to.
Jenny, judging by what I could see of that mine entrance outside, Dad said a lot of things that aren't just so.
Oh, Damien. Mr. Webster, is there any food in the house?
Food? Why, your father arranged for one of the engines who worked for him to bring food from Orville this afternoon. He wanted to be sure it was fresh.
Oh, those bricks in the corner with the pipe leading to the roof. Is that a stove?
Yeah, that's what it is, a stove.
Damien, let's start a fire, and then we'll try to clean this place.
That'll be a lifetime job, but we'll try.
Well, say, that's mighty nice of you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to ride into Orville and tell that engine to hurry the provisions along. That all right with you?
Certainly.
Oh, we're famished. We can't wait to eat something.
Then you'll have it real soon. I'll be back.
When he left the brother and sister, Mig rode to the shack where Jake Collins waited with Leo Kearney. A journey of less than 2 miles.
Ho, hi, ho. Hi, Jake. Well, it worked, just like I figured. It would... Hey, don't tell me the old coot hasn't come to yet.
He did once. I started making him propositions for his mine like you told me. He began to cuss me out. So I hit him one. He went to sleep again. What happened to the youngsters?
Well, I'll tell you.
At that moment, the Lone Ranger and Tonto, riding through the hills, saw smoke rising into the sky. Investigating the source, they found that it came from the abandoned cabin where Leo Kearney once lived. They rode to within a short distance of the cabin and, screened by the underbrush, reined their horses.
Easy. Steady, big fella. Tonto, there are horses in front of the cabin.
Maybe somebody won't work mine.
No prospector who knows these parts would attempt that if they knew Leo Kearney gave it up, as he told you this morning.
Oh, maybe them not know about that.
There's a chance that they're not prospectors at all, Tonto.
This place not far from trail, but not many people ever come here.
Yes, I know. That's why I think you might go to the cabin and try to learn who's staying there.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger adventure. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue. Tonto rode to the cabin.
Oh, Scout, fella. Easy, Scout, easy.
Dismounted and walked toward the door. Before he could knock, the door opened and a girl stood in the opening.
Oh, here you are. Oh, it's about time. We're starving. But where's the food?
Huh? Food? Me not savvy.
Well, aren't you the Indian Daddy sent to Orville to get provisions?
No.
Jenny, I'll talk to him. Mister, Do you work here at the mine?
Nobody work here at mine. It closed long time ago.
What? Well, you're wrong about that. My father owns the place. May look as if it hasn't been worked, but...
Wait. Me think me know who you are.
I'm Damien Kearney. This is my sister, Jenny. Our father is Leo Kearney. Do you know him?
Ah, him good friend. Me with him this morning before him go meet you.
Before he went to meet us?
What?
Well, what are you talking about? Dad didn't meet us.
Dad's at another claim in the mountains.
Oh, that not true. Me know him go meet you.
Huh?
What?
Who tell you him in mountain?
Oh, Mr. Webster, Daddy's partner. The man who brought us here.
Him got no partner.
No partner.
Your father not work here in 2 years.
In 2
and him
years?
not live here. Him tell me that today.
Tonto introduced himself, told of his long friendship with Leo Kearney, and of their meeting that morning. Impressed, the Kearneys told of their meeting with Mig Webster and of his bringing them to the cabin. Damien ended.
And now everything makes sense. The deserted appearance of the mine property, the condition of this cabin, the lack of food and activity, everything. Yeah, it all makes sense, except the man's reasons for bringing us here.
He said he'd return later.
What him say not matter. What happened to your father matter. Now you listen, please.
Tonto told of the Lone Ranger and of the masked man's mission to help others. Damien and the girl, skeptical at first, relented and told Tonto to have the masked man come inside. When the Lone Ranger returned, his words and manner soon convinced the Kearneys of his integrity. They told him their story. When they finished, the Lone Ranger said,
The important thing is to try and locate your father. Tonto, you say you saw Leo Kearney set out for Central City?
Ah, he even helped him get on horse, 'cause him not good rider.
Oh, perhaps he met with an accident.
It's possible, though not probable in view of your story. But let's not guess. Let's find out.
Damien and Jenny Kearney asked if they might accompany the Lone Ranger and Tonto. The Lone Ranger, learning each was an expert rider, allowed them to ride with him and Tonto. Shortly after, the 4 riders reached the main trail.
Now, this spot is about halfway between Orville and Central City.
Ah, and how we start search, Kimosabe?
We'll divide into 2 parties. You and Miss Kearney ride toward the east. If any of us find anything suspicious looking, we'll ride back and advise the others.
Get him up, Scout.
Come on, Silver.
Get aboard.
The Lone Ranger and Damien reached the spot called Sudden Bend a short time after leaving Tonto and Jenny. There on the road, the Lone Ranger saw bloodstains that a less practiced eye might have overlooked. He left Damien, rode back and located Tonto and Jenny, then returned with them to where Damien waited.
Silver.
Scout.
Oh, easy,
Oh, fella.
big fella. See, Tonto? The stains and hoof prints go off the road through this underbrush.
Ah,
All right, follow me. Come on, Silver.
get him up, Scout.
Hold up. Don't make any noise. Oh, Silver.
Oh, fella.
What? I see a cabin behind those trees.
And that horse beside it. Jenny, that's the one that Mig Webster rode.
And that mean him here.
Let's dismount and tie our horses here. Easy, steady, big fella. I see a window at the side of the cabin. We'll make our way up there. The trees will hide our movements. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll lead the way.
Inside the cabin, Leo Kearney had been revived and was going through an ordeal of badgering and bullying by Mig Webster and Jake Collins. Mig, who hoped to give an aspect of legality to an act that had been criminal, was placating in his tones.
Now, looky here, Kearney. We're being nice about this. Listen to me, will you? I said we just want to trade with you. We know where your youngsters are. You don't. For half an interest in your mine, we'll tell you where they are. Well, that's just a trade, see?
This new mine of yours is as rich as you think it is. It can't hurt you to give us half of it. You still have plenty.
And we'll handle it all legal-like. Now, look. While you were unconscious, we wrote out a paper making the transfer. It's all ready for you to sign.
Put your name on it. And while you wait here with Mig, I'll take it to Orville and file it with the court.
And when that's done, I'll tell you where your youngsters are.
We're right here.
What?
That's where we are.
Mig!
Kids, you sneaking varmints, you followed me here.
Mig, we gotta be tough.
You better not try.
What the... Masked man, shoot him.
Drop that gun, Meg.
Oh, my arm. Out of the way, Mig. I'll take him.
What's Watch out, Masked Man. He'll shoot you.
No, you don't, Jake. You're too slow. Now drop that gun.
You're breaking my arm.
I'll take his gun, Masked Man. There.
Wait, Masked Man, hold him just a second, please. I owe him this.
Oh, Dad, that was some punch.
Ah, wasn't it? Good thing the Masked Man was holding him, or I'd never been able to throw it so hard.
Daddy. Oh, look at your head. They hurt you.
Jenny Lamb, I don't hurt even a little. Now that I know you and Damien are here, unharmed.
As father and children embraced and talked, the Lone Ranger and Tonto prepared to tie up the crooks. The rope that had bound Leo Kearney was used to tie Jake Collins. Then, seeking another rope, the Lone Ranger opened a closet door. It was a closet filled with many things: shotguns, dynamite, and buried beneath a pile of wood shavings, 2 canvas bags and bank wrappers used for currency. After a minute's study, the masked man said,
These bags are the property of the Central Express Company. Their office in Orville was robbed last month.
What's that?
Meg, I told you not to leave him in that closet.
Keep quiet. You just said it'll put us in jail for years.
I sure hope it does. What are those wrappers, mister?
Banks use them to enclose paper money. These come from the Central City Bank.
Say, that was robbed 3 months ago.
Mig, you're bank robbers too, huh?
Well, you know everything, don't you? Well, stop asking questions. Get me to a doctor.
First, we'll hand you and Jake over to a sheriff. Tonto, get Jake and take him outside.
I'm able to walk. I'll go.
I sure would like to take another sock at you. That first one didn't put you out more than a few seconds. Oh, that's too bad.
Dad, you can put him out of commission longer when you testify against him in court.
I'll sure do that. Oh, but first I gotta take you and Jenny to the new cabin I built for you when I heard you were coming here.
Oh,
Oh, that's
It's
great.
real nice with all kinds of furnishings.
Mig, get moving. Follow your pal and Tonto.
All right, I'm
Kearney, we'll ride ahead of you 3. You tell them everything they'll want to hear, and I'll inform the sheriff you'll be along later.
All right, masked man.
Isn't he the most wonderful man in the world?
Yes, he's all that and more, Jenny. You'll know why when I get around to telling you everything there is to know of him. You see, he's the Lone Ranger.
This is a feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated, created by George W. Trendle, produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated, directed by Charles D. Livingston, and edited by Fran Stryker. The part of the Lone Ranger is played by Brace Beamer.